Good morning out to you. I am Jamie, and this is, of course, the Chat Wrap on Relax Radio. How are you doing? How is your Tuesday going so far? I definitely want to hear from you. So go ahead, let me know by calling me on 07852 Now, if you missed that number, that's completely fine. I will put it up on the screen right about now. The number is on the screen, and all you got to do is either WhatsApp us or call us, whichever that is easier for you. Just get in touch with us so that we can have a good conversation with you, and more importantly, so that you can share your thoughts and your ideas with every other person that's tuning in right now. Okay, and that's what's beautiful about Relax Radio. If you ever think of something that you think people should know about in general, well, we give you the platform, we give you the opportunity to do so. Okay, so go ahead and share your thoughts and ideas with me so that I can share it with everybody listening in. And you can do that by, like I said, by calling me or by leaving a comment down below if you're listening to us on our social media platforms. And just before we get on into the interesting conversation for today, and it's definitely interesting, so you're going to want to stick around. But before we do that, I just want to remind you that you can download our app. It's available absolutely free of charge on iOS and Android, which means that you gotta head on over to Apple Store or Play Store right now and download our app. And it's super easy, okay? If you download our app, there's an option for you to just hit the call button and you can get in touch with us, which is amazing. And it's super easy to get in touch with us. It's super easy to connect with us. So go ahead and do just that. I also want to remind you about our social media platforms. That is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to be forgetting a lot of it, but Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. Oh my goodness, you gotta go check out TikTok as well. We go as Relax Radio. We're spelled without the X in Relax because we are all about positivity. All right, let's get on into the conversation. Hello out to everybody listening, and I do have a couple of you listening in on a plethora of different platforms, and thank you so much for being a part of the show. It's such a pleasure to have you on board, and I just want to say, hope you're having an amazing day so far. I do have a lot of people listening in from around the world. We are broadcasting from London, so good morning if you're in London, but if you're around the world, hello out to you as well. Go ahead and let me know where you're listening from, because earlier on we had a few people listening in from Canada, we had people listening in from Africa, from Asia, we had people listening from Bangladesh actually. So that's really amazing to know that people are listening to us from all around the world. So thank you for being a part of the show again. Let's get on into the conversation, and this is something very exciting that when I read about this, it actually made me quite happy, and it made me so grateful almost of what is happening. And that's with regards to this event or this festival that is happening, and that's called We for India. Now, We for India basically is a virtual fundraising, yeah, you could call it a fundraising event, and it's entitled, of course, We for India Saving Lives, and it's going to take place on the 15th of August, not just in London, but in Mumbai as well. Mumbai is the capital of, or Mumbai is a city in India, and it's going to be taking place in London and Mumbai as well. And it was announced yesterday. And the reason I thought I want to talk to you about this is because I think that this is such an amazing initiative. Like, it just makes me happy to know that people are using their power, people are using their platform to actually do something good, and they're doing this to fundraise or raise funds for people that are suffering in India. And we spoke about Scotland earlier on, right? I was telling you how not just England, Scotland yesterday, it's called a Freedom Day by a lot of people, because a lot of the restrictions actually came off in Scotland as of yesterday. A lot of the legal restrictions with regards to COVID-19, which means that people can go back to living their normal lives. You know, you can gather socially. There is no cap on how many people can gather in Scotland, and also in England. This happened back on the 17th of July, if I'm not mistaken. But do you get what I'm saying? Most countries, especially in the developed part of the world, most of the countries are now, getting rid of COVID restrictions. Most of the countries are back to their normal lives, or are achieving a sense of normalcy after a really, really long time. But that's not the case in so many other countries in the world. That's not the case in India. That's not the case in so many other Asian countries, so many other African countries as well. So I'm glad that stars are actually coming together to do an event like this so that they can not only raise awareness of the dire lack of healthcare facilities in countries like India and other developing nations, but it's also like a good thing to do in general. So basically, some of the big named musicians include, I think Annie Lennox is definitely going to be playing at this music festival. We have Ed Sheeran, we have Sir Mick Jagger, who are all going to be joining with Bollywood stars to raise funds for COVID relief work in India. Okay, so this is supposed to be like a 3-hour event, and it's going to be live streamed all over Facebook, which means anybody can watch it. It's going to have more than 80 Indian performers and composers such as A.R. Rahman, who is one of the best known composers of our time. We are going to have Nile Rodgers, Sister Sledge, Jay Shetty. Oh my goodness, Jay Shetty is so popular, and he's going to be performing at this festival as well. Of course, like I told you, we are going to have musicians from the Western world, that is Annie Lennox, Ed Sheeran, Mick Jagger, and so much more as well. There's going to be a lot of stars that's going to host this event. Oh, actually, the host of this event is Rajkumar Rao. And if you're wondering who that is, we spoke about this movie quite a lot, The White Tiger. And that is an Oscar-nominated, BAFTA-nominated movie that blew up in Europe. And that movie, The White Tiger. So basically, the star of The White Tiger, Rajkumar Rao, is going to be hosting the event, which is I'm looking forward to that as well, because I'm sure that he's going to do such an amazing job hosting the event. So yeah, that's done in the hopes of raising fund for vaccines for healthcare in India, which is an amazing thing to do. So go ahead and check it out. That's a music festival for you to watch, a cross-cultural music festival. And that's definitely going to be super, super interesting. And I cannot wait for the 15th of August when this is all going to go down. All right, I'm going to head on off to a little break. When I come back, though, we'll talk about this a little bit more. And I also want to give you a little update about the whole vaccine situation and what's going on with vaccines and why aren't people getting vaccinated in India. These are definitely things that we are going to be touching on. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relaks Radio. Very good morning out to you.
The valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. What am I saving or investing for? Why am I doing it? When will I need the money? And how much money do I need? Yeah. So that's quite important, because when you're looking at your net worth, you got to start with saying, well, what do I want my net worth to be? So that there's a goal, and then work backwards. How do I get there? And if I can start with £50 or $50 a week, if I save that every week, and you can go online and use calculators online. I don't have to teach you the maths behind it, but you can say, okay, and if I get a 3% return and I put this away for how long will it take to reach my goal? And that's called just this basic cash flow projection calculations. And it's what we use in financial planning all the time. What we say to clients is we say, okay, what is your goal? What is your objective? Where do you want to go to? And we discuss that in a lot of detail and over most of the meeting. And then the rest of it is saying, okay, in your exact circumstances, with your risk profile, with how you feel about investments and pensions and taxes and where you are and who you work with, and your education level or your lack of education or how involved you want to be. There's a lot of variables that we take into account, and then we say, okay, here's a plan. You start like this, that's great. And then we review it all the time. And we say, okay, we need to increase it, we're on track, we're not, this is what is happening. Because remember, when you're dealing with assets, the valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're
Yeah.
always evaluating what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. so
Absolutely.
that's a struggle. Yeah. So there are strategies everywhere from £50 a week up to £100 million, and they're different. Right? They range differently from everyone, but and from country to country. To be fair, different countries have different tax laws, so different vehicles. But from your point of view, at the sort of normal end, I'm not going to call it the low end because I'm in that boat as well. It's as tax efficient as you can get it. That's where you start. You use all the tax efficiencies, and then you step up into different things.
Welcome back to the show and a very good morning to you. I am Jaimmy, and this is, of course, the Chat Wrap on Relaks Radio. Hi out to every single one that is listening in. Thank you so much for being a part of the show so far. It's definitely such a pleasure to have you on board. I want to say a big thank you going out to every single one of you that have been tuning in, that have been, checking us out on social media so far. And if you're new to this platform, if you're new to Relaks Radio, well, then let me enlighten you as to what exactly we are. Now, Relaks Radio basically is a community-based interactive radio station. And even though we call ourselves a radio channel, we are far from it, okay? Because you don't need to have a radio to listen to us. All you need to have is a social media account or, our app on your phone, because you can listen to us on so many different ways. And I know everybody's so busy these days. Everybody has their own things going on. We are so busy with our jobs. We are so busy with our families. And it can be really hard to keep yourself updated with everything that's going on. Now, that's where Relaks Radio comes in, because we, basically keep you updated of all things interesting in all scopes of life. Be it entertainment, be it business, be it politics, current affairs, pop culture, whatever it is, we are keeping you updated. So make sure that you download our app. And if you're cooking at home, or if you're on your way to work, or even if you're working, make sure that you keep us on in the background so that you kind of get an idea of everything that's going on in the world right now, because it's always good to stay informed. Excuse me, but it's always good to stay informed as opposed to not knowing what's going on. So make sure that you keep yourself informed with Relaks Radio, and make sure that you share your thoughts and opinions, because we do talk about a lot of things here and we definitely want to know what you're thinking. You could most definitely get in touch with us by calling us on 07852 473 473. The number is on the screen right now. You could WhatsApp us, call us, whatever that's easier for you. Go ahead and do it to get in touch with us. All right, like I said, I am Jaimmy, and I'm going to be here with you up until 12 or a couple hours more, talking to you about a lot of interesting things. And I want you to be a part of this show. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up button so that I know you are liking what we're talking about. But apart from that, let's get on into the conversation. If you missed the conversation earlier on, we were talking about this festival or this event that's happening, a very large scale event, a cross-cultural event, and it's called We for India. And I told you how a lot of stars like Annie Lennox, or like Mick Jagger, like Ed Sheeran, together with a lot of Bollywood stars, are all getting together to help COVID relief work in India, which is amazing, right? I told you how it's so amazing to know that these stars are actually using their power, are using their influence to do something good. But apart from that, let's talk about India for a second, and why such COVID relief fundraisers are absolutely appreciated. It's because with regards to the situation in India, and a situation in a lot of South Asian countries for that matter, is not good. COVID is spiking, even though in countries like Scotland, in countries like England, yesterday we celebrated Freedom Day, so dubbed a Freedom Day in Scotland. We spoke about how in Scotland there is basically all the restrictions with regards to social gathering, social contact has all been lifted, right? But I told you how that's not the case in so many other countries in the world, India, for example. Moving on with regards to that specific topic, did you know that in India, I think everybody in Europe, actually, there was a video that was trending in England and in UK about how there's basically no oxygen for to treat patients in hospitals. And apparently that video is so true, because that is the case in India. Hospital admissions are soaring, and there is a deadly second or third COVID wave, I'm not sure, but this spring and summer it's worse than ever, and apparently people are turning to crowdfunding to pay their medical bills. Like I told you, there has been so many distressing events of hospitals running out of oxygen, and a lot of the people in the world saw videos of this as well. So basically what India's government is going, I know I'm just going a little bit off topic here and I'm going on into the technicalities of things, but I think it's so important to know this, okay? For me, at least, I feel like knowing these things just opened my eyes into what exactly is happening with the world, and it's so nice to know what's happening in the world so that you can be grateful for what you have. And I just want to let you know that the situation in India is so bad, and the government basically is promising to vaccinate the entire adult population by the end of 2021. But of course, there's a huge lack of vaccine doses to meet this goal, rather, and proceeds from this event that I was talking to you about, which is called We for India, and that basically is going to help provide ventilators, it's going to help provide oxygen concentrators and ICU units, as well as essential medicines in the most rural parts of India, and it's also going to go towards supporting the staffing of vaccination centers and helping those who have been struck by poverty due to COVID-19. And honestly, I can't even think of a better idea to do a festival for. So go ahead and support this cause. You can most definitely do that by watching the live stream on Facebook. It's happening on the 15th of August. It's called We for India, and we have a lot of cultural events that are taking place together with performances from Annie Lennox, Lola Lennox, Ed Sheeran, Mick Jagger, and a lot of Indian stars as well. So make sure that you tune in on the live stream that's happening on Facebook. We'll give you more updates as we get closer to the 15th, but I just wanted to let you know that that's happening. All right, with that being said, we are going to be heading off to a little break. When I come back, though, a lot more interesting things await.
The valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. What am I saving or investing for? Why am I doing it? When will I need the money?